today's show, we've got a speed round of preview for you today. I'm going to review the latest chapter of Dune, and Pat is going to tell us what his final verdict is on Ryan North's Fantastic Four. Welcome to your favorite live streaming, whatnotting podcast, comics and collectibles in the crawl space. I, of course, am your fourth or fifth favorite podcasting host, Kevin, and I'm not alone. First up, we've got Mike.
Good after morning.
Good after morning. And then, of course, Patrick.
Hello, everybody.
Hey,
Hello. Last but not least, of course, we've got Karen in the background doing awesome background production work. All right, we had such an awesome cover combat show this morning, and it was epic too, wasn't it, Pat?
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, for multiple reasons. Mike did an amazing job with a lot of stuff. So we're on a tight schedule. So previews is going to be quick.
Yeah. Like, get this, don't get this, get this, get this.
Yeah, essentially. And then I want to do the random shout out again. Random username shout out every week. This week it's going to be Rooney. Rooney, if you are watching this video, let me know in the comments. I got something special for you. Rooney was my superstar in the Pokemon show that I had this week on Whatnot. So that show was a lot of fun. The toy show was great too. People, show up for the toy show. So anyway. All right, we ready to get into this speed match of previews? See how this goes. You ready?
Yeah. No. You don't have to rush though.
Oh, I was getting ready to talk like it was a race. Isn't that what you were thinking, Pat?
Yeah.
Nice. All right. First up for me, I've got Star. I was going to be done before that clapping was over. That was my original plan for that. But anyway, first up for me, I've got Star Wars Visions. This is the manga anthology. I have yet to get into any manga. But I figure what better place for me personally to start than with Star Wars Visions, right? I love the Star Wars Visions animated show on Disney Plus. So I'll see if the manga, and this doesn't seem, from what I read, this isn't like just a manga version of the show. This is just manga Visions of Star Wars. So I want to check that out. Pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
Yep. No, that's an anthology. That's the collection. Is that a collection of previously released stuff?
Yeah, exactly.
Is that the Marvel stuff?
No.
Oh, okay.
They invited visionary Japanese anime studios to explore Star Wars galaxy through their unique cultural lens. This is now the top manga creators such as Kamomi Shirahama, and Yasuki Asawa. So yeah, it seems like it's a collection, but it's not the Disney Plus show. They maybe have some relation, of course, like the stories might be based on the same characters or whatever, but yeah, this is a collection of manga Star Wars. Yeah.
Cool.
Doesn't say anywhere it's a collection of something previously printed though, so I mean a little confused. Do they have anthologies that are original, or does anthology definitely mean it's a collection of something that was priorly printed?
No, I think they're original.
Okay. All right, what you got, Mike?
All right. Well, come on now. There we go. I have Marshall Bass. This is from Ablaze. It's an original graphic novel. And this contains 3 stories. And I initially thought this was going to be about Bass Reeves. We've got he's a legendary U.S. Marshal. There's a TV show now about him. There was supposed to be a 4-issue comic book series from Allegiance Arts. Those are the books you can get at Walmart. They had to deal with Walmart. They published 1 through 3, and then they decided they changed up their format. And if you wanted issue number 4, you had to buy the trade paperback, which I didn't do. So I was all excited thinking this was about Bass Reeves, and I did some little research. The character in here is called Marshall River Bass. So I don't know if there's issues with. I can't imagine there's issues with using the Bass Reeves name. I mean, the man's been dead for 100 years. I don't imagine he has an estate or anything.
Right.
They would need permission for it. So maybe these are tales that are influenced by his story or something. But either way, it looks awesome. It's set. I think it's set right after the Civil War. So this looks really cool.
Yeah. I meant to ask you if you've watched Bass Reeves that's on Amazon, I think, right?
I think so. It's from the makers of what's that big ranching show with Kevin Costner?
Yellowstone.
Yeah, the Yellowstone people made this. I haven't watched it yet.
Okay. We got to get that on What Kevin Watched. I'll let you know. All right, Pat.
First up for me is Boy Wonder, number 1 of 5. This is in the Black Label format, which I'm becoming more of a fan of. This is by a creator by the name of Junie Ba, who I'm not familiar with, but apparently he has some bit of a following, more independent works. But he has worked for Marvel and DC, I believe, previously. His art style is pretty cool. Like I said, the Black Label is growing on me. In fact, Kevin, right after the show last week, while I was doing my ordering for the month, I ordered the hardcover version of Batman One Dark Knight.
Awesome.
So I'm eagerly with that one. So, and I'm also interested to see how the collected version of it goes.
Yeah.
So yeah, this I don't know if I'm going to get this or not, but it's going to be on my list of potentials this month.
Gotcha. All right, next up for me, I'm going to check out this Space Ghost number 1. This is going to be published by Dynamite. Man, and I didn't write down the artist and the writer on this. Now, my paperwork's all over the place. I'm a wreck. But I did read on this, and it seemed very interesting. Karen, fact check that. Who's the artist and writer for Space Ghost number 1? Anyway, because I did want to kind of give the writer props. They did kind of a Q&A through this issue of previews for him. And the big thing that stuck out to me that I love that he said was he watched every Space Ghost episode from the original animated, and then he also watched there was like a comedic Space Ghost where he was the host series.
Coast.
Yeah, Coast to Coast. Yeah. He watched all that, and then he read all the Space Ghost comics to really familiarize himself with, what's so endearing about Space Ghost to everyone before writing this. So, how many times have we ever talked about, creators really going to the source material to do something right? And it seems like he's going to be doing this. He or she, I don't know.
Yeah, that sounds really promising then.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I thought.
It's like they care about what they're doing.
Right. Which is all we ever ask for, right?
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Mike?
All right. I have EC covers the Artisan Edition. This is a 15 by 22 size trade paperback. It's $39.99. There are more than 140 covers, and they're all scanned from the original artwork. And we've got examples of Wally Wood, Harvey Kurtzman, Graham Ingalls, Al Williamson, and Jack Davis. Now, initially, this was published in August of 2021 in hardcover form, and that's $150. So for us poor folks, I'm glad that I waited, because now I can get away with just spending $40 for it. And just some examples of the covers that are going to be in there. And that's some prices for, I looked up the current going rates for some of these books. So the original covers or books are really expensive. But there's Wally Wood, Harvey Kurtzman. And then we've got Graham Ingalls with The Haunt of Fear, and Jack Davis. Man, I love Jack Davis. And
yeah, so awesome.
But that's a little too rich for me. So $40 to get 140 covers from these legends, these EC legends. It's well worth it.
Yeah. Didn't I grab you one of those from a Comic-Con, I think, for one of your birthdays, the Tales from the Crypt, right?
Did you? Yeah.
If I'm remembering correctly, I think I did. I actually think it was number 13. I don't know why it stands out to me, but it was kind of banged up, so it was a little bit more affordable.
Yeah, they're all banged up.
Yeah. All right, Pat, what do you got?
More from DC. There we go.
All right, Karen's got the writer and artist for Space Ghost, David Papose, and artist Jonathan Lau. Thank you for that, Karen. Appreciate it. Like to give everybody their just due.
All right, more from DC.
No.
Yeah, I've heard it. Yeah, the writer I've definitely heard of before.
Okay. All right, sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. More from DC, and as always, we know how the comic book companies like to follow each other's leads, and so here's DC following Marvel this time around by reprinting Crisis on Infinite Earths, facsimile editions. Going to publish all 12 issues from the get-go, and they're just like Marvel. They're also doing foil editions as well. So if you want to pick up Crisis and get some foily goodness, here you go. $4 cover price. Yeah.
Sorry. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
That's all right. No, I'm just going to say the $4 cover price. I don't have a price for the foil versions, but yeah, there you go.
I was just going to say get you some readers copies too, so then you can keep your OGs pristine.
Yeah.
For anyone who hasn't read it yet.
Right.
All right. For me, next up, I've got Godzilla versus the Power Rangers. Now, this is issue number 2. So first of all, were you familiar with this, Pat? Did you know this was out already, or was coming? Because issue number 1, I'm sure, would have been in the previous previews.
Yeah, the problem with IDW these days is a lot of times they don't get their covers out. It seems for advanced solicitations. I don't remember seeing it. I do remember seeing this very recently. It could have been in the newest previews because I remember seeing a cover with Jet Jaguar on the cover.
Yeah, exactly. That's the Sanchez variant.
Okay.
And I actually looked for that. I wanted to use that graphic for the show, but I couldn't find that graphic. It's actually in the previews guide. There it is. Look how cool that looks. But anyway, this is by Colin Bunn and Baltimore Rivas is the artist. But man, Godzilla, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, I thought that was extremely interesting. Man, they want to just cross over Godzilla fighting everybody nowadays, it seems.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that series, Godzilla versus everyone.
Right. And I hadn't seen I don't know why I missed number 1 in last previews, or would have highlighted it then, because this is number 2. So number 1's only 2 months away. So anyway, I'm gonna check this out.
Right, I'm going to move this one up because I'm sure you guys are probably going to highlight this one. So let me jump the gun here. I've got Bear, Pirate, Viking, Queen. You guys see this yet?
I did see it. It wasn't on my list though. Was this on your list, Pat?
No.
Man, yeah, this is on my list. Like, I'm going to buy it. I can't wait. This is from Image Comics. Sean Lewis is the writer. He writes King Spawn, and then Jonathan Marks Baravecchia is the artist. Issue number 1 is a $4.99 book, but it's 72 pages. And in reading the description, basically they all fight each other for dominance here. A bear, a pirate, a Viking, and a queen. They're all battling each other somehow. So that sounds awesome.
That does sound awesome.
The interior artwork, fantastic. I love it. This is right up my alley. And I'm voting. I think the bear. I'm pulling for the bear. Or the Viking. The bear or the Viking.
That's hilarious. Okay.
So, there you go. Pick it up. There's a little bit of buzz about it. It's gonna be good. I think it's 3 issues.
Pat?
All right, I'm going to stick with Image, and I feel like I'm going to step on some toes here. This is Ain't No Grave. This is written by Scotty Young. The artist is Jorge Corona. This is a 5-issue limited series, $6 cover price. Issue 1, they showed a lot of preview pages, and the artwork looks really cool. I might be getting this one.
Seems like this story might be a little bit more serious than they'd have Scotty Young art on the cover, though. That's why they kind of made that choice, probably. Huh?
Oh man, yeah.
What?
No, this one's on my list. I had a little write up about it, but these guys had done The Me You Love in the Dark, and then Middle West. They did Middle West together.
Okay.
Yeah, and this looks great.
Which we had a Middle West cover in Cover Combat 7, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, I've got next up kind of a little bit of same but different. They're also putting out the manga of The Mandalorian. Again, I didn't see this before, but this is actually number 2. And this does seem like it's going to be just a manga, interpretation of the Mandalorian show. So like literally the exact same story. So I'm still interested in it though. I'd love to see the manga take. And there was a bunch of interior art in previews, and they all look great. It looks awesome. So this would be something else I'd grab as well. They're doing the right thing to switch me over to manga.
Yeah, lead you in with stuff you're already interested in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yep. All right. I've got, speaking of stepping on toes, I imagine one of you two might have this, but it's kind of next on my list. I've got Deadpool Wolverine World War III, written by Joe Kelly, who, I've never read Deadpool. But I think the way I look at it, I think Joe Kelly is who made Deadpool popular and his earlier stuff. And then Adam Kubert on artwork. There's some great variant covers for this. We've got the Mike Zeck cover. And then obviously you can't have a Deadpool book without Rob Liefeld cover.
Right.
And then we've got Gabriel Delgado, which, man,
Right.
Deadpool's arm getting sliced.
Yeah, his arm just totally sliced off. Hey, Pat, I'm interested to hear what you have to say about that Wolverine by Liefeld. Go back to that one, Mike.
No. It's like his mask is too small.
Yeah, right.
Shrunk it in the wash.
Yeah, I do not like that Wolverine.
I love Rob though. I can pick his art apart, but he's an awesome person.
Yeah, and let me resay this say it differently by saying I don't like this Wolverine, but that picture's cool because I like Liefeld's art too, but just gatekeeping Wolverine a little bit, come on. He looks like a little kid too. I don't know why. He just strikes me as he's like a teenager in that picture too, Anyway.
Right. And then the 1-in-25 Inyuk Lee ratio variant.
Sick.
So
yes.
It's Deadpool and Wolverine. There's going to be chaos and violence and all kinds of
a bunch of death that should be that won't be, right?
Yeah. I was going to pick it up, but then I had to cut some things because I was wanting to get all this stuff, and probably not going to pick that one up, but I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of people that want that.
I'm glad you picked this one because this was definitely on my list as well. And this is one of the ones that I was having a hard time getting uploaded. So cool. All right, Pat.
All right. This one, I kind of need you guys to sell me on because I don't know if you finished it or not, but I was still kind of up in the air. And that's more from Image. This is the hardcover collection of Dracula, Universal Monsters Dracula by James Tinian IV and Martin Simmons. I know you guys had a strong out of the get-go reviews of Dracula, but I don't know if you were totally on board for the entire series or not, and if anybody should pick up this hardcover collection. I really like the B cover on that too, because I wasn't 100% on board with that original #1 cover. Plus, then I guess it goes to you guys as what you guys always say about wanting a different cover for the collection versus reusing the individual issues. So,
go ahead.
I was just going to say, I'm actually going to review Dracula 2 today. Forget it. So stay tuned for that. And then it's funny too, Mike, I need to borrow your #3 because I have #4. I can't find #3 though. So.
Yeah, I'll bring #3 for you.
All right, thanks.
That second cover is a direct market only. I think the other one is going to be available at like Borders. They don't even exist. At Barnes & Noble and Amazon, but the other one is direct market only.
Okay.
And yes, this is well worth it. If you didn't get the individuals, get this. I imagine there's going to be some extras. This is absolutely 100% worth the money.
$25 retail.
Awesome.
Yep. Definitely worth it. And that was on my list, so check mark another one off.
I like that price for a hardcover collection too. That's a good price in general, besides for the book being worth it and awesome. All right, next up for me, I have kind of a pseudo classic for me. Well, it's definitely classic, but RuneScape. And I say classic because it's a classic video game. Tyler couldn't get enough of this when he was really just a real young. Can't remember exactly. I think early teens or maybe preteen. But anyway, but this is The Gift of Guthix by Aaron Evans, and this is by Titan Comics. But it doesn't. This looks like a novel cover, right?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That looks like a novel.
Right, yeah. But I'm reading everywhere, and it doesn't say one way or another. But it does just list the writer, and it doesn't list an artist. But it's under Titan Comics, so I'm a little confused. This cover's so awesome.
Is there a price? Did they put a price on there? Because it's like $29.99. It's a hardcover book. If it's $3.99, it's like...
It's actually, that's a good point, Mike. It's $17.99. Yeah, it's a soft cover novel then.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I'd still read it. I mean, but I don't know if RuneScape has any comics then. That's what I was thinking. I was excited about it and possibly being a comic.
Yeah.
But check out that toad. Isn't that awesome?
Yeah.
But it's odd that it's to be solicited by Titans Comics if it's just a novel. Is that a first, or is that something they normally do? I've just missed before, I guess.
I don't know. It might be like a trade paperback or something, and Aaron Evans could have just done everything.
Yeah.
Art and writing.
I hope so. If I see it, I'm going to grab it and check it out. That's for sure. I'll probably pass on reordering it or ordering it at an $18 price with it being a mystery, though.
And I took notes on all of my things here, and I can't find them. I'm gonna have to pull from memory on some stuff. But
That's the best way.
Is it?
That's where you get all those errors in. That's the fun part.
That's true. Next up, I'm excited about this.
Me too.
Garth Ennis and Ron Parlov and the Dave Johnson cover here. Fantastic. So I think basically the Viet Cong take Nick Fury hostage or POW, and it's pretty much all I can remember because I can't find my notes. But I'm excited for this. I liked when they did the Punisher book a few years ago.
Yeah.
And this would be great. There's some variant covers here. This one's by Jason Burrows.
And
it's
again,
kind of cool.
The Punisher's going to be in this too, I think, right?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I think so.
That's him on the cover of #1 there.
Huh?
That's him right there.
Oh, that's him with Nick Fury in his sights. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think the gist is he's been captured, so they send in Nick, the Punisher, to take him out because they don't want his secrets being leaked.
Oh,
right.
Man, it sounds even more awesome.
Yeah.
I should have read a little bit more on it. I actually need to get a physical previews because I just I'm looking up the stuff. And, anyway, yeah, Get Fury. I'm ordering this. This looks great.
All right, that's another one off of my list too. And again, it's another one I couldn't get uploaded, so that's awesome. Pat?
We have some distillery business. The second issue of White Boat is solicited this month. This is Scott Snyder and Francisco Francavilla's book. Don't have #1 yet, so I'm not sure what to think yet. It's a cool cover. $9 cover price for all distillery books. And also from Distillery this month is the premiere of One for Sorrow. This is by Jamie McKelvey. Again, I don't know what to think. It looks kind of cool. They showed some character designs. The main protagonist, antagonist, we're not sure what he is. He's going around killing people, but they seem to be people that need to be offed, and he's taking care of business. But it looks cool. I've really enjoyed a lot of the distillery stuff so far, and this may be another one on my pull list.
Yeah, the distillery stuff looks so fantastic, and the large format is great for that. It just really shows off the art. It's hard to jump on the prices.
Yeah.
If you want to get a majority of them, holy cow, that's my budget for the month. They're double. Worth it, but
hopefully we can find those at Ollie's or something in the future. All right. Is that it?
Yep.
Okay. Next up for me, I could not find an image for this. So I literally just took a lame picture. So this picture's kind of lame, but I wanted to show this. So this is a Chimerian volume 1 through 4 box set. And I couldn't find an image of that box's cover there. Look at that. Isn't that epic?
Yeah,
I'm reading about it. Say it again. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was just reading the description there.
Yeah, so it's by Ablaze, and this just collects, obviously, all Robert E. Howard's Chimerian graphic novels, and it also contains 2 complete Conan stories plus bonus material, including the original prose stories and one epic hardcover collection and a folded poster. So that's definitely something I want to grab. That's ridiculous. I don't know anything about that breaker. What, Mike?
I'd be curious to see what books are in there, because I've got the singles when they published all those. And is it all of them, or is it just, are there different volumes? What's this, volume 1 through 4? So what's in it?
I'm assuming everything.
Everything.
Yeah. It's big. It doesn't have the dimensions on it, but it looks huge.
Yeah.
Doesn't have a price listed either. But
oh, that's scary.
yeah. But anyway, I definitely want to grab that. So
yeah.
Mike.
All right. I have Void Rivals number 9. It's the first cover appearance of one of the triple changer Autobots, Springer. I'm getting this book. I'm liking this book. I wanted to highlight this because, I didn't play with, any of the Transformer stuff. Never watched any of the cartoons or anything. So the triple changer Autobots, I don't know what they are. Maybe they're pretty cool. Maybe they change into 3 different things.
Right? Do you know, Pat?
I'm pretty sure that's what it is. They have 3 different forms.
Cool.
Awesome.
Anyway, there you go. There's the first issue number 9 is the first triple changer appearance. So that's all I got on that one. It's a series everybody should be reading anyway, because it's pretty good.
Gotcha. Pat?
All right, I'm gonna spotlight, go over to Marvel and hit some books, and this is Marvel's chance to get another $10 out of you. Here's Amazing Spider-Man number 50.
Yeah.
So it's a $10 book. It looks like they're teasing the return of Green Goblin. I mean, he's sort of been in the background. He is the Gold Goblin, Norman Osborn transformed to the side of good, but they always tease that he's going to come back and become the Green Goblin again. Well, the cover seems to say that he is back as the Green Goblin, but they even in the solicitation they kind of twist it. They say, is it as straightforward as it seems to be? So we'll see. A lot of it's Zeb Wells, and I think the main story is by Ed McGuinness during this arc, but there's a lot of guest people on the book to pad out that $10 price point. But hitting number 50 once again.
Maybe it's a new, different Green Goblin. Maybe that's what
Could
it
be.
is. Yeah. All right.
Those look cool.
Got to make you feel that FOMO to grab it, though.
Yeah.
All right. Did anybody else highlight Helverine?
Helverine, no.
Really? Daggum, because that's another one I couldn't get uploaded. Helverine number 1 getting his own book. Benjamin Piercy, Julius Otta. The Ride to Hell and Back in Helverine's first ever solo series. But I do not have a graphic for it. Sorry about it.
Yeah, I figured one of you guys were going to do that. I figured you would, Kev. Being Wolverine.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I actually haven't read the Wolverine issues where Helverine pops up, but I'm going to soon. So stay tuned for that as well.
All right. My next one, unfortunately, I was just looking for the picture. Somehow I missed it. But it's called I Lie Popeye, and it's a Popeye book. It's an ongoing manga-inspired book. Let's see. Oh, dang it. I don't have the writer. The writer and the artist are the same. One guy's doing all of the work. Basically, one of the big things is we're going to find out what happened to his eye. I guess kind of.
Okay.
I guess that's everybody's big question. I'm going to get the book because the art style looks pretty cool. And
Popeye's cool.
Yeah, it's from Massive. So that's a public, that smaller whatnot publisher there. But in place of it, I do have a graphic I could put up.
Okay.
This is just to help Patrick. That's interior that I had for Dracula. Look how stunning that looks.
Right, Pat?
It's really cool. Pat's like, I don't think I'm going to get it now.
It's like chalky art, right? It's like, you know what I mean by chalky? It's, you know, it's got the haze behind every picture of, you know, a chalky coloring. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. I never thought that.
Isn't chalky a good description? Look at it. It's like chalky. Imagine if you were doing this art with chalk or, you know,
Pastels,
like coal or whatever, you know, like something.
charcoal, and all that.
Yeah. You know, have you seen artists that do that? I've seen a few of those videos where people would do ridiculous art with like coal and stuff. It's crazy, right? It reminds me of that.
All right. Yeah. So get Popeye. It's gonna be fun.
I do. You know, I remember. Is that number 2, Mike? Did you say
This? I just
Popeye?
pulled this because I was gonna highlight the hardcover as well. I can't remember what.
I was talking Popeye.
Oh no, it's number 1 from Massive.
Okay. Yeah.
There's also
for some reason I remember. Oh, that's probably where I remember it from.
Yeah.
From what? What? What'd you say?
I like Popeye. There's a free comic
book day.
book.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, that'll
Because I remember thinking I hated the name. It just doesn't sound right, you know.
Yeah, why not just make it Popeye?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Again from Marvel, we have Doom number 1, but it's actually a one-shot, I believe, by Jonathan Hickman and Sanford Green. This is sort of you know, the end, I think, type story for Dr. Doom. It's in the future, they say near future. But Jonathan Hickman, Doom was a central character throughout his Fantastic Four run and his Avengers and Secret War run. So he has strong ties to the character. So this is sort of, you know, Dr. Doom left on by his own lonesome to try to stop Galactus and save the universe. So when it comes to Doom and Jonathan Hickman, I'm on board here. So yeah, one shot. I figure I got nothing to lose. I'll be getting this.
Nice. So that's it for me. I don't have any more. Mike, you got any more?
Yeah, I have for the cover.
Okay.
And Patrick may have seen this already. The Immortal Thor number 11, open order variant by Arthur Adams with Angela on the cover.
Interesting.
Yep. So I've already got my order in for this one. And my final for the cover, unless you got more, Pat?
Yeah, I got a bunch of omnibuses I'm going to run through.
Okay.
First one being Marvel's Godzilla. This is the complete series in omnibus form. This is going to be $100. They've been really good recently about picking up some of the old licensing comics that they did in the 70s and 80s. And here's yet another one, Godzilla. Speaking of those licensed properties, we have Micronauts Volume 2, continuing on the run there. And that one is 125, 2 different covers there. I think there were 2 different covers. Well, actually, it looks like 3 different covers for Godzilla, depending on where you order it from. Then we have a couple Spider-Man omnibuses, the Michelini and Larson omnibus, which there's that Venom cover that was in Cover Combat previously.
Yeah.
Obviously, they know that's going to be a big seller, so they're putting that right in the cover. This is a new printing. It's been out before. And also the Complete Black Costume Saga on the bus with also 2 very iconic covers there. The Amazing Spider-Man by Ron Frenz and that Charles Vess Web of Spider-Man cover. Those are 2 really big covers and still continue to be big covers.
Yeah.
Until today. And then finally we have a Thor by Donny Cates and Nick Klein on the bus. Started out pretty hot, but I can't tell you how that one finished up.
Checked out, huh?
Yeah, kind of a shame, really. It started out really strong.
Mhm.
And then finally, for you Moon Knight lovers, Moon Knight by Jed McKay. 2 different covers there, one being Greg Capullo and the other being an Art Adams cover. So yeah, there's a lot hitting you with a lot of on the bus spending this month from Marvel. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I had that Godzilla and that amazing black costume saga on my short list. Yeah, that was awesome.
Right. I've got one last thing.
Okay.
It's funny that you'd put the Web of Spider-Man. So there's, I think it's another miniseries, another Venom Separation Anxiety #1. It has the Charles Vess Web of Spider-Man homage done by Paulo Siqueira.
Awesome.
And yeah, it's awesome. Looks really cool. He did a good job. I was sitting there side by side. You know, obviously there's some differences with the Daily Bugle there, but it's really cool.
Yeah, their pose and the statue or the gargoyles or whatever are exact. Yeah, it's nice. Yeah.
It's hard to catch what, you know, Charles Vess's style. I mean, he's got the layout all the same, but when you look at a Charles Vess piece of artwork, you're like, it just stands out. There's the little things that stand out for me. And yeah. But anyway, that's a great cover.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's a pretty good book too. I think that's a Dave Michelini book. He's writing that. He's doing all those little Venom mini series. So that's it. Go buy it all. Go get it. How it is.
All right, awesome. I'm just going to assume that you didn't do the math on if we were going to buy everything from previews.
Oh, no, I did not.
Okay, well, this is what I'm going to tease for the next version of the previous previews for next month. Since we finally got this previous previews on time, which is supposed to be the second Saturday of every month, we finally got this one on time. It's actually going to be a full month before we get to the next one. So to tease that, 2 things. One, we're going to start pre-recording it like we do Cover Combat, and we're going to drop the previews preview as a separate show on Sundays, which is pretty exciting, I think. Then you'll have our regular show on Saturday, previews on the Sunday, second week of the month, and then Cover Combat on Monday. That's going to be epic viewing. Right, Pat?
That's right.
And then also, too, I'm going to do my part because this is what we talked about, that each of us do the math on if we bought everything we highlight in the previous previews and then do the math for all of it together. That'd be fun, I think. So anyway. All right. That was great, though. Next up, we're going to do a little bit out of order today because Mike's got things to do. So he's going to be checking out a little early today. So we want to get to the pick 3 next. Right, Mike?
Yeah, I'm ready for it.
Sweet.
All right. Pick 3. Funny story. So I get home from work last night and I go to pull my paperwork out for pick 3. Yeah, it's at work on my desk.
Of course.
So I had to rewrite everything. I had to go back since all the votes are sent to me on my phone. Thank goodness I have all that. So then I had to go back and jot down all the votes.
No wonder you were stressed out last night. You not only had Cover Combat, but you had pick 3 to redo. Jeez.
To redo, yeah. All right, so this week was pretty good. I thought there were some really good ones, and I thought there were some weak ones. Wasn't 100% in love with all of these, but it was close enough.
I'm on that same page.
Black Widow and Hawkeye #1 from Archer. Amazing Spider-Man 45. Alex Maleev 1-25 ratio. Fall of the House of X #3. Nick Bradshaw 1-25 ratio. Helen of Windhorn #1. Massimo Carnival. Avengers Twilight #4. Simone Bianchi, that's the 1-25. Immortal Thor #8. Alex Ross. Star Wars High Republic Adventures #4. Harvey Talibo. What If Venom #2. Geraldo Sandoval. Symbiote Spider-Man 2099 #1. Todd Nuck. And Wesley Dodds Sandman #6. Sebastian Fiamara.
Awesome. What do you think of this week, Pat?
I thought it was about third, sort of, 3 really strong ones, 3 middle of the road, and 3 really weak ones.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Well, just to throw this out there, there were 2 covers that didn't receive any votes.
Oh, man. Is that a first?
No.
Oh.
But as of late, at least, all the covers have received 1. But yeah, it's been a while since we've had covers that didn't receive any. Maybe last week we had 1. I don't remember. Anyway, it's strange for 2 to get 0.
Right. And I'm going to guess Star Wars High Republic didn't get any.
I'll let you know after I review.
Okay.
Them.
Oh, yeah, true.
So that might be 1, 2, or 3.
Right. Gotcha. Which would be funny.
Right.
All right, go ahead.
All right. Let's see. Coming in third, which surprised me. We've got What If Venom #2.
That doesn't surprise me. What surprised you? It's not higher than 3, or it shouldn't have been on the top 3.
Yeah, I thought there were other ones that could have.
Oh man, this doesn't surprise me. This one being in the top 3 is I would expect that. What about you, Pat?
Stupid.
Oh, the audience doesn't care about this one.
Well, with covers like this, it's a lot that Valor and Mark are going to be all over it.
Yep.
And Tyler.
Well, yeah. Shout out to Tyler. Thanks for voting. That's a jab. He didn't vote.
Oh, Tyler. Oh.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that cover's pretty cool. I didn't vote for it either, but I think it's pretty cool. Anyway.
All right. And in second place, I'm not surprised by first and second. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
In second place, Wesley Dodds Sandman. Sebastian Fiamara, who is Max's brother, correct, Patrick?
Correct. I think they're actually twins.
Twins.
Yeah, I think.
Can you imagine? I mean, holy cow. Twins, and they're both phenomenal artists.
Yeah. Well, they probably grew up drawing together. That's probably was their thing they wanted to do all the time. They had a partner to do it with all the time. That's great. Yeah, I voted for this one. Do you vote for this one, Pat?
Yeah, this is my favorite of the week. My whole family voted for it.
Yeah.
That leaves me a little afraid of what #1 is, though.
#1, Star Wars High Republic. Black Widow and Hawkeye by Archer.
Yep.
Yeah, I knew. Yep. As soon as I wrote that one down, I'm like, there's #1.
Well, I think that Sandman, I was either figuring the Sandman or this one are going to be #1.
It was a 1 vote victory. Let's put it that way.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did you like this one at least, Pat?
I did. I'm surprised that many people did like it, considering the costume, the original costume here. And I also thought, but I looked it up because I wanted to back it up because I thought it was corny that he put the B on the earrings and the W on the clasp on the cape, but it turns out that it went. I don't know about the earrings, but it went back and forth on the cape. Sometimes she had a B, sometimes she had a W on her cape.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
That's cool. Can I see the 10 again real quick?
Yeah. So you've said Star Wars High Republic got 0 votes. What's your other guess?
My other guess would be Fall of X.
No.
All right, what is it?
It is Avengers Twilight.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That would have been my next guess. Okay. And the second one.
Oh, yeah, and Star Wars. You were right in the first one.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay.
Yep. There you go, goose eggs.
Yeah, Simon Bianchi's hit or miss for me, and that was a miss.
Yeah.
Yeah, my third pick was the symbiote Spider-Man, I think, 2099.
I think so. Yeah.
Did you vote for the Helen of Windhorn, Mike?
No, that was my fourth. I was gonna vote for that one, and then when I added the Sandman book, that did it for me. Because I did the Amazing Spider-Man.
Oh, Karen, sorry. Karen's saying she voted for Fall of X. Sorry about it, Karen.
Yep.
It was close for that. That was my fourth, but I love Nick Bradshaw, but there's something weird about the pose there that it threw it off just enough to kick it off my top 3.
Well, I love how the sun glaring in your face makes everything else blurry in the background. It's really cool. I like it. But yeah.
On what?
On Amazing. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I thought, Pat was talking about X-Men.
Yeah,
Fall of
X. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, for me it was Black Widow, Amazing Spider-Man, and then the Helen of Windhorn, and then I got to the Wesley Dodds, and I was like, oh, that's just gonna bump one of those out.
Well, now that I know what you're talking about, Pat, with the Fall of X, I think it's her hips that makes it. The way her body's turned and the way he's got.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's sort of an Art Adams, Nick Bradshaw thing, but it was just something about her head, really, that it didn't look right to me. I don't know. Plus Polaris. I mean,
right. All right, cool.
So that's it. That's what you got.
Nice.
Great job, Mike. We know we're losing you.
Yeah.
Mark's birthday. Happy birthday, Mark.
Yep. Happy birthday, Mark.
See if I can nail this. He's 12.
You got it.
Nailed it. Nice.
Yep.
Getting ready to be in those teenage years.
I know.
Those are fun.
That's what I hear.
All right, man. But we'll check you next week then. Have a great rest of the day.
Yep. Thanks. I'll listen to the show while I'm taking care of all my stuff in preparation. So.
All right. Cool.
All right. We'll see you guys.
See ya.
Bye, Karen.
Okay, Pat, I'm excited about my What Kevin Watched today. You can see in the title of the show, I got Dune Part 2 watched.
Wow.
So
that took half your week.
Yeah. You excited? You excited for it even more now?
Yeah.
Sorry if I seemed a little distracted there for a minute. I had family passing me notes during the show. It's like so funny. Anyway, so I'm not going to start with that. I'm going to leave you hanging with that one a little bit. I did check out this show, and I do believe this is from 2019. Gran Turismo, the motion picture based on the video game. So a couple questions for you right off the get, Pat. Are you a Gran Turismo guy?
I had it. I played it. It's a little too what do I want to say? Too simulator heavy for me. I don't care to get into the weeds as much as far as realism goes on my racing games if I do ever play them. So
Gotcha.
while it was kind of cool at the time, I never really kept up with it.
Gotcha. And I need to correct myself right out the gate, man. It's not that old. This is from 2023. This is from last year. Man, I thought it was a couple years older than that. But anyway, so and you can watch this on Netflix now. I'm a big Gran Turismo guy. Yeah, and I think that's what makes Gran Turismo special, kind of what you really didn't care for too much.
Right.
Was how deep it got into the technicalities and the physics of, realistic driving. And
Yes.
I think Gran Turismo did it first, actually, which, that's on PlayStation, which is back when I was a PlayStation guy. I'm an Xbox guy now. So we love this game. I guarantee if Mike were here, he'd be touting this too. We raced the heck out of this for a long time. I think all the way through Gran Turismo 3, but it's epic. And so this movie is a true story. And you can see on the poster there, this has David Harbour, Orlando Bloom, and I didn't even know that Stranger Thing and Black Widow actor's name, but Archie Madekwe, is that how you pronounce it, Pat? Do you know?
I'm not sure.
Did you know that? Had you ever heard his name before? I don't think I have.
Nah, I don't think so.
Yeah, but he's awesome. I like him in everything he does, it seems. But anyway, yeah, this is a true story about, here's another tidbit in case you didn't know, Pat. You don't say, when you're referring to the automobile manufacturer Nissan, you don't say Nissan. That's not how you pronounce it. Do you know how you pronounce it correctly, Pat?
I've heard this before, but I cannot remember.
Okay. It's Nissan.
Yeah.
So, and the only reason I'm assuming that this movie was accurate in that anybody that was really kind of, involved in the racing team that was getting together using Gran Turismo to recruit new racers referred to it as Nissan. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I've been saying Nissan my entire life. Everybody's ever talked to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll still say Nissan. Yeah. So. But anyway, like I just said, this is a true story based on the Nissan racing team. I guess we're in hard times and needed to, kind of up their ante with finding some great racers. So Orlando Bloom's character, I don't remember any characters' names, I apologize. Orlando Bloom's character, which is a real person too, was set out on this journey to find the best simulated video game drivers, to hire one of them to then teach them how to drive actual race cars. And it worked out. And again, this kid, I should know his name, what the movie's about, but the actor David Harbour, he was like down and out kid too. He's like most kids, just loves playing video games. He was super competitive with Gran Turismo racing to where he was number one. That's what they had, a competition to where they could, race all the other top Gran Turismo racers. And the top racer was picked to go to this school from Nissan. And I looked it up after I watched the movie because it was so interesting, because the movie, I'm sure, is dramatized a bit, but everything that happened in the movie was kind of legit. Like some hurdles that he had to get to be a professional racer, he just kind of barely made it. And of course, again, in the movie, they dramatized it in very interesting ways to make it very compelling, where you're on the edge of your seat, believing he doesn't make it. And I didn't know the whole story. I just knew it was a true story. So I didn't know how far he actually did make it. I thought at any point where they made it feel like he was going to fail in the movie, it was believable. So this movie is great. I loved it from beginning to end. I love these kind of true stories too, especially cool things attached to video games. Every kid's dream, you know, and doing essentially a video game that you love in real life. So Gran Turismo is epic. I'm going to give it 9. And you know what you're in store for when you're watching this. So it's not very deep, but it's very actiony, interesting, and compelling the whole way through. So
amazing.
yeah. All right, next up, I seem to have lost Pat. I really wanted to get Mike's input on this one too. Karen, just me and you right now. I've got Spaceman. This is Adam Sandler's latest movie. This just dropped on Netflix. All right, Pat's back. Cool. Pat, are you familiar with Spaceman, Adam Sandler's latest project that just dropped on Netflix last week, I believe?
Yeah, I haven't heard great things about it.
All right, well, that's going to continue. No spoiler alert. So first of all, this isn't your quote unquote normal Adam Sandler movie. If you're watching this for goofball humor and you know, kind of funny, quirky Adam Sandler, you ain't getting in this one, Pat.
No.
This is a drama. He's obviously an astronaut, and I think he's actually a Czechoslovakian astronaut. I'm not sure. I was going to say cosmonaut, but they call Czechoslovakian astronauts cosmonauts. I'm not sure.
Maybe.
Whatever they call Czechoslovakian, I believe, astronauts. He's one of them. He goes on this journey because this purplish, crazy, black hole-ish type star system has appeared out by Jupiter. So he goes on a one-man mission to go collect data from this anomaly. And it takes him 6 months to get there and 6 months to get back. And one pretty interesting thing happens during the journey, and one thing that I hate happens during the journey. And unfortunately, what I hate about it wins over as far as my opinion of this movie is concerned. The interesting thing is a giant alien appears in his ship with him. Have you seen the trailers for this, Pat?
No.
All right, well, it actually shows this in the trailer. The giant alien looks like a tarantula. And actually, when I say giant, he's not giant relative to Adam Sandler, but he's giant relative to a tarantula. He's about twice the size of a human-sized tarantula. Okay? And he's an alien. Okay? So they give him some wonky alien race name and some wonky alien universe he's from and his planet and all this stuff. But basically, Adam Sandler is, when he's out to collect the data from this anomaly, the alien just appears on his ship and starts talking to him about how he's been researching humans for a long, long time, and he doesn't understand them. So he wants to delve deeper into understanding humans through Adam Sandler. That's the pretty interesting part. You know, I'm all into sci-fi. Adam Sandler's one of my favorite human beings. It's not family on the planet. And the spider alien thing was pretty interesting. But then basically what they make this movie be about is Adam Sandler's relationship to his wife. And that's what we kind of get to relive in this entire movie. And Pat, have you ever seen the movie The Story of Us with, I think it's Michelle Pfeiffer and Bruce Willis?
Have not.
Have you seen The Breakup with Jennifer Aniston and Vince Vaughn?
Again, no.
Man, I think I'm something's going on in my memory today. I'm just riddling off movies and names. Daggone, that's good. But anyway, I hate both of those movies. I hate both of those movies. Now, that's not to say they're bad movies, but I hate them both because They are basically dramas. They're both really similar. They're dramas, kind of chronicling a relationship from when they first get together and it's all love and happiness and roses to then when they break up. They're both of those movies are the same thing. And, unfortunately, I've got a lot of experience with getting together and breaking up. And you know what? It sucked in real life. I don't want to watch it in my downtime. I'm not interested in reliving these emotions and that's why I said it's not to say they aren't quality movies, because they do a real good job of getting you in the feels of what it feels like to go through all this, and I hated that. I don't want to do that, so Spaceman does the same thing. It, through the tarantula alien kind of actually can pull memories kind of to the forethought of Adam Sandler. So it's kind of like the way they're doing is they're showing us the memories, but we're seeing them out of Adam Sandler's head that the tarantula is putting them in there. It's kind of weird that way too, but it's just, it's just a chronicle of from when he got together and him and his wife loved each other to where they currently are, which this is another horrible part of the movie. His wife's divorcing him while he's on this year mission to space. Only picking a worse time. Like she waited till he left and told him she's divorcing him like 5 months into the journey or something like that. So holy dear John letter. I mean, seriously, it was so dangerous to Adam Sandler because he's already kind of losing his mind a little bit being alone all this time, that the equivalent of NASA, the people that are taking care of him on the ground, don't even send him the message of his wife saying, "Hey, I'm leaving you," because they know that'll be the end of him, But it does have a happy ending in the end, kind of a spoiler, whatever. It all ends up comfy, cozy, but the journey to get there was just, man, I was so mad at this movie. So again, I love Adam Sandler and it's done fine. Adam Sandler's acting, Adam Sandler does a surprisingly good job and a convincing job with how goofy we see him 9 times out of 10 when he's when he's portraying someone serious, So I think he did a good job. And like I said, it's fairly interesting in general, just not my cup of tea. So I'm going to totally pass on recommending Spaceman to anyone else too, especially if you're doing it for Adam Sandler. Me personally, I'm going to give this like a 4 for me personally. As far as the quality and story and writing and acting, all that, maybe it's a 7, I guess. I don't know, but take it or leave it. Just don't watch it if you are a real big Adam Sandler fan or you have a hard time watching breakups like I do. So that's it for Spaceman.
Well, or is it? This is like a perfect setup. You want the goofy Adam Sandler. They can make Spaceman too, since you said it ends with a happy ending. I'm assuming he gets back together with his wife, maybe not, but they can adopt the space spider and hijinks can ensue on Earth.
That would be perfect. That would be perfect. And Adam, if you're listening or anybody involved in the Spaceman project, if that happens, I will give a positive endorsement of the first one. There's your payoff. All right. And then last but not least, my daughter and I made it to see Dune Part 2 in theaters. Man, it's not very often I make it to the theaters, but it seems like I've been making it quite a bit as of late, but quite a bit in my relative terms. But in the oddest chances, Pat, did you make it to the theater to see Dune Part 2 yet?
Nah, because I got to see the first one.
Hey, comments. Don't you have you don't have HBO Max, whatever. I'm telling you, did you like the 80s version?
I never saw it.
Pat!
I think my wife is a fan of the books, if I'm not mistaken, but yeah.
Well, even more than me and Chelsea can get on you. She enjoys it. I'm sure she must have seen the movies then, right?
I'm not sure. Definitely not the new ones. She may have seen them.
We're seeing the 80s one.
Yeah.
Which I think the 80s one is pretty good too, but it doesn't really hold up. you know, if you're trying to show it or introduce it to the younger generation, you know. But I thought it was excellent back in the day. I think that was kind of mixed reviews with people, but I don't think I'm a real outsider on that one. But anyway, I reviewed Dune Part 1 and I loved it. I think Johnny was on the show at the time. I think that was it's kind of similar to this. I only had one other co-host and it was Johnny that day. And he hated it so bad. He only watched, I think, like part of it and then checked out because he was bored, he said. Which I have great feelings for Dune Part 1. I thought it was excellent. Man, these movies are beautiful and the acting's great. A lot of big actors in it. You know, the young main star, Timothy Chalamet, playing Paul Atreides, is why Lexi gets me. This is one of the reasons I get to the theater with it. Lexi wants to see it so bad because of Timothy Chalamet. Zendaya's in it. She's awesome. Drax is in it. Thanos is in it. You know, the girl from Silo, I can't never remember her name, but she's Paul Atreides' mother. Everybody's in this movie. So obviously it's a humongous production. And man, I can't remember what I gave Dune Part 1. I think I gave it at least an 8. Might have been a 9. I don't know. That's remembering back. Whatever I gave it, I'm going to have to give this a 0.5 up. So this is either an 8.5 or a 9.5, depending on what I gave Dune Part 1. I know it's kind of a weird way I'm comparing those. Maybe I should just commit. I'm going to commit into a 9 on this one, regardless. I'm going to split the difference. I'm going to commit to a 9 on this, man. This is dangerously close to as far as I'm concerned, a near perfect series, man. If they nail the landing with Part 3, this could easily probably move up into my top 10, I think, easily. Favorite trilogies, because they're doing an excellent job. And everything is so similar. I didn't read the books. Everything is so similar from what I know from the 1980s Dune. But really steps up its game with the politics and of course with modern technology of sci-fi. The worms are ridiculous, you know, and the choreography, the fighting, and just it's the one thing that I really think that's cool about both of these with the advanced sci-fi technology. And I think I actually don't know how they'd pull this off. Whenever I try to think of this type of thing, it's a mess in my own head. But how they make advanced sci-fi technology kind of something that seems like it'd be old, you know what I mean? Which is kind of contradicting in itself, you know, which is kind of what they did with, you know, Episode 1 in Star Wars, you know, that it was supposed to be the past, but everything seemed futuristic or whatever, you know. That's kind of how this plays out. You know, Christopher Walken's in this too. I don't even know if he's on that poster, but he's actually the Emperor in this, which I thought was really interesting. Oh, Black Widow's sister is in too.
Florence Pugh. Yeah.
Yeah.
So loaded with Marvel and Star Wars people. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of big time in this. And yeah, I love it. And Aquaman was in this, but I think he died in Part 1, so he's not in Part 2. So anyway, check out Dune Part 2. Big recommend for me. Everything I've read after the fact, I like to kind of confirm or deny whether I'm with the populace, and it seems like this is getting great reviews. And I agree with that wholeheartedly. Cannot wait for Dune Part 3. And basically watch Dune, which I think is only on HBO Max now, before you check out Dune 2. Because if you're like Johnny and you don't like Dune, you probably won't like Part 2. But if you like Dune, you want more of it, this is going to give you more and be a little bit better, in my opinion. So
I remember a lot of people being shocked to find out there was a Part 2, but now I'm shocked to find out there's a Part 3.
It's funny you say that, because Lexi was shocked to find out there was a Part 3. She thought it was just Part 1 and 2. I knew there was at least 2. I didn't know I didn't think about it either way, whether it was a part 3, but I think getting tickets for this or whatever, we discovered there's a part 3 coming. But anyway, so check it out. Dune part 2. And that is all I watched today or this week. Man, I think that's the first show in a while that I've had all of my choices be something fairly relevant and known. You know, I usually have an old one in there, but Gran Turismo being the oldest one's not too bad.
Yeah.
All right, we're ready to get into some reviews?
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, actually, it'd probably be better if you go first since you got collectibles coming up, right?
Sure. That's fine. Yep.
All right, cool.
I'm dipping back into the Fantastic Four well once more. Well, perhaps
Nice.
for the final time, Kevin. I don't know. Recall last week I talked about issue 14, which I gave it a forget it. But then I gave it a little twist that I read 15, and it was back. I was sort of back on the bandwagon. It wasn't bad. It fell into the Twilight Zone light camp, you know. In the cover right there kind of tells you that looks like maybe a Twilight Zone-ish cover.
Yeah, yeah.
It's more of an artistic representation of the story. There was never really a floating giant brain. It ended up being at the time I didn't know between issues that this was a second part to the meta mind whole deal from the last time, where the app was getting the individuals to build this thing, the equipment at the Baxter building. Well, the meta mind took on a mind of its own, and the AI sort of ran rampant. And this, you know, and I say Twilight Zone light, and it was a okay tale, but it's one of those ones where you feel like, or you're pretty sure that you've read this or heard this story before, because you know everyone's out to defeat the metamind who has gained you know, independent intelligence. But then the switch kind of gets flipped, and you start to feel bad because they're shutting the AI down, and it doesn't want to be shut down, and you start to feel sorry. Do you think you've heard this story before? You know,
it's so funny. Yes, I feel like I've heard that story before. And this might be a little teaser for next week. We're in the middle of watching Dead Reckoning. Do you know what Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning is about?
No, I do not.
That exact story. It's an entity. It's an AI that's kind of, you know, taking things into its own hands. So it's weird. I definitely feel like I've heard that story before. And me and Jesse, we're talking about it with Dead Reckoning. So stay tuned for that next week with us. But yeah, it's familiar for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, it wasn't bad. Twilight Zone-ish story. I would give it a mild get it, but I was really here to see where things picked up for number 16. You know, because now at the end of 15, the FF is all back together. The Baxter building did return. That was like the last act of Metamind. He was kind of hiding away the Baxter building to keep it away from the Fantastic Four, because they were the ones that tried to shut him down. But he was like, oh, you know, this isn't fair. Here's where you can find the Baxter building, and they were able to bring it all back in his last act before they shut Metamind down. But here we are, everyone's back together. You know, and we're back to science class, literally this time though.
Man, I actually like that.
And something that wasn't. I do too.
Yeah,
I like that cover as well. We'll kind of get to see what's all going on there. But it was unbeknownst to me. This wasn't. I don't think this was really stated beforehand. It was kind of clumsily introduced. But the Baxter building's back in New York, but the plan is that they're still going to live in Arizona on the farmhouse, and they have like a transporter dimensional device they can go back to the Baxter building if they want to, but their idea is that they're going to live in Arizona at this farmhouse.
Okay.
Yeah. Not a lot going on in there. Well, you wouldn't think there's a lot going on in Arizona, but as it turns out, a lot of things were happening in Arizona. Things that weren't really interesting, but things nonetheless. No pun intended. But then we start to find out that they've enrolled the kids. The kids are going to be in normal public school. And this came across as super corny to me. I have some interior shots. It's focusing on Franklin and Valeria, and plus, Ben and Alicia's two kids, the Skrull and the Kree children that they've adopted. And as they're introducing the children to the classes, all the classmates are reacting with this big cool. And you can see it happening 3 times there. I'm thinking, this ain't real life, man. Nobody can. At least, when I was in school, I don't even think they introduced new kids. And if they did, nobody cared.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Typically, the opposite would happen. If anybody would say anything, it'd be mean things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But a lot of this takes place in school and in class and in sciencey things. And this was by the way, again, I missed saying it. This is Ryan North yet again. He's done every issue of this Fantastic Four run. This is I think this is the first time for this artist on the book. His name is Francesco Mortorino. He's okay. He does really weird noses. I don't know if you'll be able to pick up on that as I go through some of these interior shots, but they're all the same. They're all these like real broad, flat, weird looking noses. Basically Franklin and Valeria, and this is another weird thing. Franklin and Valeria aren't the same age. Valeria is younger than Franklin, but it appears like they're in the same class.
Right.
I don't know.
What's the age difference? Do you know?
I may have missed something. I'm not sure.
Yeah, okay.
I thought there was like maybe at least 5-8 years.
Oh, wow. Okay. Big difference. Yeah. Okay.
But comic book time,
right.
that always line up.
Right.
But they were definitely born at different time. I don't know. Maybe something happened that I'm not aware of, that they aged Valeria up to Franklin or vice versa. But basically what happens here is their science teacher, now they have an actual science teacher in the book. But there was this 1600s scientist named Robert Boyle. This is all real world stuff, I assume. I didn't go and fact check Ryan North, but this inventor, the scientist, he had come up with a list of 24 inventions that he wished future generations of inventors would solve these problems. And a lot of them have been solved. You would think, obviously, that's probably true. This is back in the 1600s. A lot of things have happened, but there's a lot of far out stuff here, things you wouldn't think. Here I am giving you science lesson. But would you say that's an exciting splash page to open up to in your comic book of choice?
No,
not at all. Again, I say good luck to Francesco trying to sell the original art. Who's going to want this page of art? I don't know. Maybe a big Robert Boyle fan. I don't know.
I wouldn't read through that entire list, actually. I would just go on to the next page.
Yeah, exactly. Basically, the science teacher tasks Franklin and Valeria's class with writing an essay about how one of these inventions came to pass and what good it's done for society, or perhaps come up with an essay about one of your own ideas for future inventions. That's too mundane for Franklin and Valeria. They're both very smart, especially Valeria. She's like on Reed's level of intelligence, if you weren't aware. And they decide that they're going to solve one of the unsolved items on Robert Boyle's list. And they land on the universal solvent, which means that there's nothing that this solvent can not dissolve
through. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
Right. So if you're a brilliant scientist, they go about creating this. It's no problem. They're so smart they can do this. But if you're going to create a universal solvent, this right off the bat leads you to the question: how could they miss what the potential downsides to this.
Right. That's right away. My thoughts are, okay, how are you going to contain it? What are you going to do with it?
Stop right there. That's all you have to do. Stop right there. It took you 4 seconds to solve this book, Kevin.
And
You were smarter than Franklin and Valeria Richards.
Right.
Because you've already hit the crux of their problem, because they had no problem coming up with the universal solvent, but then immediately it started eating through the test tubes that were containing the universal solvent.
Duh. Right.
Exactly. So they have to figure out a way to basically stop or contain the solvent. So they come up with these weird excuses. Reed Richards is having taco night. It's his night to make dinner, and he makes tacos.
So that's why he can't help, right?
Well, they don't want the parents to know that they've done this. They want to sweep it under the rug and take care of it themselves. The only reason I included this page is because I sometimes get on artists about how they draw food. This guy drew pretty good tacos. You can't really see them that well. The only weird thing was they had like paper wrappers around them, and they were picking them up with tongs. And who picks up tacos with tongs? I don't know. Just a little nitpick. But anyway, the whole thing, they wrap it up. Well, they don't just wrap it up. First, they decide they're going to jettison into space and throw it into the sun. But then Valeria realizes that the particles will just re-enter Earth's atmosphere and just be raining down on Earth and cause all these potential problems. So they go into space. This is all during dinner time on Taco Tuesday. That they rocket this stuff off to space. Then they have to go themselves into space to get the vial of universal solvent back and come up with another idea. They can't come up with an idea. They finally have to go to their parents, like all teenagers that are at their wits' end,
Right.
and ask Reed for help. Basically, if you really want to know, Reed solves it because the unstable molecules, which probably everybody knows, that's what the Fantastic Four's uniforms are made out of. That's how they describe, or that's how they get away with. The Fantastic Four can use their powers, but because of the unstable molecules in the costume, they adhere to their powers, whatever.
Right.
But something made out of unstoppable molecules can contain the universal solvent. And Reed tells them, "Oh, by the way, I already come up with the universal solvent years ago, and I had the same kind of problem. That's why I knew how to put it inside the unstable molecules." But whatever.
Right.
It all wrapped up nice and tidy, except the junior Fantastic Four members got an F- on their homework assignment. So while the kids, the FF kids needed the spotlight, perhaps an issue to themselves because they've been gone for a year. But I should have known better, because it was a literal science lesson inside a series of books that have been science lesson after science lesson, slight detours into Twilight Zone territories. So this is a forget it for me. And this might be it. I looked ahead a little bit. So we have, looks like the next 3 issues are dealing with an Invisible Woman storyline, and again, it pains me because there's all these interesting, cool Alex Ross covers coming up.
Right.
To get you to buy the book, I suppose. But again, people were on board with this book, but just not me, I guess. And a part of another downside is a new artist is taking over, as with number 17, 18, and 19, and 20. And it's Carlos Gomez, who's that mystery artist from, if you remember, that did all the cool Avengers artwork to Captain America that we were trying to find out who the artist was, 2 or 3 years ago. He's getting his big break on the Fantastic Four here, but he's
okay.
But unfortunately, he's saddled with Ryan North. I am interested to see what his artwork looks like. Obviously, I've already pre-ordered at least 17, 18, probably even 19. So I have these books coming. This I think, if I recall correctly, this is an invisible asteroid hitting Earth, whatever that means. And then we do a film noir book story here, again with focusing on Susan Richards. And if these 3 issues, I don't know, they don't look uninteresting to me, but they don't exactly grab me. but tying into previews this week, Fantastic Four 20 was solicited, and this was probably the final straw. Because the Thing and the Human Torch, short on money, go to work at a grocery store.
Oh my God. That's hilarious. These are definitely obviously seem very weird, and obviously you're a Fantastic Four guy, so I can definitely appreciate your opinion over others, but you can kind of see how the people would be on board, at least because it's kind of a theme of different standalone stories of weirdness, kind of, right? I mean, the people that are into that kind of thing, so this seems like maybe it's not a fit because you're a Fantastic Four guy and you want Fantastic Four type stuff. But if you're interested in those kind of weird kind of stories and something that maybe doesn't even seem like it belongs in a comic book with science lessons and stuff, maybe that's why it's appealing to other people. But yeah, I'm going to go with your opinion on these though and forget it though.
I'm going to make a promise here.
Okay.
Yes. Like I think I have 17, 18, and 19 already ordered. But I'm getting 20. I have to see what this mess is about right here.
Right.
But this, as of right now, as of this show, this is going to be the last issue I pre-order, number 20.
Okay. Until they reboot again.
Yeah, watch this be the last issue.
Right. And then you got it all anyway, right?
From issue 20 on, if it continues much past this, it's dollar bin diving for me for Ryan North's Fantastic Four. Forget it.
Gotcha.
Why do I do this to myself?
Yeah, I mean, I go through the same thing with all of my favorites, I mean, I just recently dropped X-Men again. I should have dropped it, apparently a couple years ago, it seems, but. All right, I actually had 2 reviews, one real quick, and then I'm going to get in deeper into one. So as I mentioned earlier, I grabbed Michael loaned me Dracula #2. And this actually isn't the cover that he loaned me. I think you like the cover he loaned me better, if you're not feeling this style too much. But I picked this one because I love this, because this cover is more indicative of the inside art. Dracula is what we mutually reviewed at the anniversary show, right, or at the get together show, right?
That's correct, but I didn't have time to read Dracula.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, we did 2 books, right? Okay, gotcha. So yeah,
Actually,
man,
did 3.
Oh, we did 3. What were the other 2?
Giant Robot, Hellboy, and Transformers.
Oh, right. Oh yeah, we all picked one. Yeah. Transformers #1, Giant Hellboy #1, and Dracula #1. Right. Yeah. So I just wanted to put this up real quick, just because, man. And I'm going to say, this is when he gave this to me. Since I was borrowing it, I wanted to get it read so I wouldn't, how it goes, I wouldn't forget to return it, And so I kind of was like, well, I'm going to read this. So again, like I said, so I can return it real quick. And I wasn't even feeling like reading a comic book at the time, but man, the art in this is so great to me. And the way it's written is such an easy read. I was through the whole thing, and my thought of not feeling like reading a comic book, I can't even remember having it. By the time I was halfway through this, I was enjoying it so much. So I just wanted to highlight this real quick, that, man, Dracula #2 is continuing on with just as epic as I thought Dracula #1 was. And like I said, I'd found Dracula #4, but now I got to borrow #3 from Mike as well. So I'll probably, close out my whole opinion of it. But man, this is so great in my opinion. So definitely just a kind of a throw in, must have, in my opinion, for Dracula #2. But then as far as my regular reading is concerned, and we actually have, this is Batman, what's it? 142, yeah. And it's Joker Year 1 this is part 1 of the Joker Year 1 storyline. That's why I kind of started here. I think we're at 145 now with Batman, which then we highlighted the second print cover is actually in Cover Combat right now too, which I thought was kind of cool as well.
Yeah.
This is actually the one that I have. And, you know, you could probably give me a brief summary of this book, just if you put some thought into how you would. Okay, so we got with the Joker, how he became the Joker. And, excuse me real quick. Obviously, we've got a lot of Batman story around that time frame, but this seems like the first time, at least that I'm aware of, that they delved into how then Joker went from then to where the way we kind of know him now, which is what this year one story, of course, is about. And it's all just what you'd figure, you know. It's like he's losing his mind. I mean, there's a couple, you know, slight, maybe you call them twists, but not really twisty. You could assume this because if like I said, if I asked you to describe Joker's year one story, you might throw out a couple of ideas, and anything that isn't for sure in your second guesses would probably be right as far as Joker year one is concerned. It's just him kind of losing his mind, questioning himself whether he should continue on. Kind of, he's seriously mad half the time, and then, you know, he's the Joker kind of foolishness the other half of the time, kind of discovering where he wants to land in the person that he is, you know, being the Joker now. And then, of course, you get the other side of the story of, you know, of course, Batman and Commissioner Gordon is big in this issue too. Discovering that the Joker didn't actually, you know, what's his name? Didn't actually die. They didn't know the Joker yet, you know. What's his name, Pat? The Joker's name?
It depends. Joe Chill sometimes.
Yeah, no, it's not Joe Chill. What's the classic in the comics name? Because isn't Joe Chill just from the movie?
I don't think so. It's so confusing now because there's like 3 Jokers running around. That 3 Jokers thing, and
yeah, okay. Well, anyway, you know, they only know the criminal that they thought was dead. They don't know the Joker's back yet, you know, and the Joker, you know. So it's really kind of cool. I talk all the time about how I appreciate this kind of lore, you know. So
is it flashbacks?
Yeah. Well, I would say most of this book, I guess it all is obviously is a flashback, but it portrays it like we're in that moment. It's not like we're experiencing it in flashback time, you know.
Yeah.
This story takes us to that time, and we're experiencing it as it happened. You know, everything that I read in this issue doesn't show us anything in current time to why they're Jack Oswald White. That doesn't sound right.
Yeah,
anyway, sorry. What'd you say, Pat?
I said, yeah, it's confusing.
So whatever his name is in this, that's just the criminal that they thought was dead, and then he's coming back. But this entire issue takes place in the past like that. It's not like we're experiencing something now and they're flashbacking. I don't know exactly why. Maybe the issue prior to this, which I didn't read, kind of led up to why we're revisiting this now in some way. I don't know, but it's fine. It's kind of basic, nothing really exciting in this issue yet. But I've got all the subsequent, so I'm going to get all the others read. I was planning on reading them all, and then, you know, life. But I still have plans on that for next week to then review out the rest of the Joker year one storyline, which I think takes place over 4 issues, I think. So I'm liking this. It's fine. I would definitely say get it if you're a Batman fan, especially. Slight get it for anybody. But you know, still a little bit on the fence on the story in general. So you know, kind of like you've been doing your Ryan North Fantastic Four journey, I'm going to do it with this Batman Joker year one storyline. So where are you on Batman? Are you way behind?
I am behind. I'm still in the Gotham War, I think.
Okay. Karen's throwing out all kinds of Joker's names.
Yeah, I mean,
Jack
she's right though.
Napier,
There's
Arthur Fleck. Yeah. Yeah. So, I think I'm gonna actually bust the comic open when you start reading or talking about your collectibles. But anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna give it a mild get it, but a definite get it for Batman fans, of course. I mean, because it's definitely good. The art's cool, So
yeah, and I don't know that like I said, there's that Three Jokers storyline. I don't know if that was an attempt to try to clear up some of that mess,
Yeah, actually, maybe this does jump around a little bit in time because they do have there's a panel about the Three Jokers. It is a little confusing too, because half the time we're in Joker. I wouldn't say half time, 3/4 of the time we're in Joker's head. So the way it's written, it's a little confusing, which, trying to jump back into any, comic at any number, you kind of need a couple, 3 to kind of feel it out a little bit, But anyway, this is obviously Chip Zdarsky too, and Collie.
Who did that? Who did the cover there, Kevin? It should be by the UPC, right?
Yeah, it's Greg Ticini.
Okay, I like that cover.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So anyway, I'll bust that open and I'll find Joker's name since we're having such a hard time with it while you do your Horizon. You ready for that, Pat?
I am ready.
All right, am I ready? Where's it at? Okay, here we go. All right, awesome.
All right, switching over. Yeah, the problem with Joker is Karen was right. She was right every single time, but it's like for this
Right.
story, for this story, who knows?
Right.
All right, first thing we got a little bit of housekeeping, and this is from Mike, who had to leave the show. I did this just for him, and he leaves the show. He was curious about on that one little graphic I had with the turtles and Voltron, who the arm was sticking out there.
Oh yeah, right. Yep.
I wanted to track that down for him, and that is a figure from Biker Mice from Mars, Limburger. So there you go.
I remember Biker Mice from Mars, though. That was pretty cool.
I remember it. I don't think I ever saw an episode of it, but yeah, I definitely remember it.
Definitely don't know that character. That's funny.
Limburger, right. Kevin, come on.
Okay, now I know.
There's even more housekeeping. Not really housekeeping, but a follow-up from last week because they didn't have I didn't have all the details, but it's that Batman black and white. We do know it is a black and white statue now.
Okay.
From Bill Sienkiewicz, based on his artwork from Batman 400. Now we know the price, $125.
Oh man.
This is generally this is a 1/100th scale. The size of all the Batman black and whites kind of vary depending on Batman's pose, and I don't recall if I saw a size on it, but they're usually, they're going to be around, if it's just Batman standing there, he's going to be like, 7-8 inches, I'd say. So maybe like 8.5, 9 with those huge pointy ears that Bill likes to draw him with.
That seems a little steep, man. That's steep.
Yeah, I think, they used to be a little cheaper, but with the cost of all the statues going up, even the Batman black and whites are a little more pricey.
Right.
They were seen with a little bit more dramatic background, give them a little actual real smoke or computer generated smoke. And of course, Kevin, didn't forget you.
I knew it. That's totally what I was expecting. Absolutely. Yep. They fancied it up though a little bit with some ripples, of course. Though I was totally thinking with the style of the whole statue would be more flat, but that's cool. Nice.
Yep. Stick with some McFarlane. These are the more traditional figures. These are actual 6-inch or 7-inch, page punchers. The larger size, not the little teeny weeny 3-inchers.
Okay.
These are the larger 6-7 inch page punchers. I hate all these figures just right out of the gate. These are Ghosts of Krypton. I'm sure it's based on a storyline. Ghosts of Krypton, Superman.
It's pretty cool though. You hate that?
I hate it. Yeah.
Daggone.
Superman doesn't need a bunch of garbage on him.
That's true. That is true. He is Superman. Right? That's true.
And that's what it looks like, a bunch of garbage.
Yeah, right. I feel you.
Earth 2 Superman from Ghosts of Krypton. It's like he has chewed bubble gum for a costume.
That's what I was gonna say. You don't like what are those buckles or what? It's hard to tell because they don't even differentiate the color.
I have no idea. This one's probably the best, even though it's still the worst. This is Ghost of Zod.
Yeah, that's the worst to me. That's the one I like the least. I don't know. Maybe it's I don't like purple. I don't know.
Man, that could be it. I think it's just because I don't really know who this character is. Well, Zod apparently, but I don't know.
Yeah, so is Zod. Yeah. Well, Ghost of Krypton. I think he said Ghost of Zod. It says Ghost of.
Well, the story is Ghosts of Krypton, but this is actually Ghost of Zod.
Action figure.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. And finally, to round it out, we have a version of Brainiac, which I think he looks cool in the cover, but I don't dig the action figure.
Well, I'd like to see that action figure in person. I got more questions you probably can't answer about that thing.
Probably.
If he's solid just like that, no. But if he could be articulated a bit, like every single one of those arms and stuff, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, he kind of gives like maybe a sort of a General Grievous type.
Yeah, all right.
Type vibe there, especially on the cover, even more so. I don't know.
Yeah,
but I didn't care for any of those figures. More McFarlane, Movie Maniacs. Kevin, I think was it you that brought up Fallout this week? So we have some Movie Maniac Fallout figures. Not familiar, but this is the Ghoul.
Yeah, Mike showed the there's a live action Fallout.
Yeah,
coming out. And then Tyler commented on it because he played all the video games. He loves it. And then I'm not too familiar with it, but this Ghoul that's played by I can't remember his name. But anyway, that looks pretty cool. That looks just like he looks in the show. I think that's going to be dropping on Amazon.
Okay.
An Amazon original. Yeah.
Then we also have, there's 4 of these. We have Fallout Lucy. I guess just Lucy, sorry.
Yeah, that's that's what I was thinking whenever the trailer is fine, I guess. But it seems like all the Fallout I'm familiar with, it's all like masculine male leads type thing. But Tyler pointed out that it seems there's no real, protagonist in it. You're kind of the player as a video game player, but it just seemed odd to me, like the Fallout. Every picture you ever see of Fallout is the dude with his thumbs up, that kind of funny looking, animated dude.
Yeah, we'll get to him.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay, sorry.
But I don't think he's really he's like a mascot or a brand. I thought he was always like something like that.
He's like the company man, but then this girl's wearing his outfit, so I don't know why they wouldn't just make it a dude. It's just it seems like they've got a female protagonist in this.
Okay.
And I'm just like, we've got like an overload of. Okay, Karen's saying Walter Goggins is who plays the Ghoul. What's Walter Goggins? What else is Walter Goggins from? He's from a few other things. I like him.
Yeah, he's kind of a unique looking character. I know who he is, but I don't think I've ever really watched the shows or movies he's been in.
Well, he's definitely the bad guy from the Tomb Raider, the latest Tomb Raider movie, which was really good. And he did a good job in that. But then he was in that HBO series where it's a comedy. I think it's called Vice, which follows the story of vice principals in a high school, and he's hilarious in that. But anyway, so okay, continue on.
Yeah, we got the Ghoul, we got Lucy. I know you said Tyler really liked these, but there's a character called Maximus.
Yeah, that's cool. I definitely like that one. Yeah, I'll have to get Max one of those, right?
And then finally, we do have the Vault Boy.
Yeah, so that's like the icon for the entire show. It seemed like every other. I did try it a few times. It just seems like a very masculine-oriented show, or I mean, video game. So then they put out a show and they put a female protagonist. I don't. Those kind of things are frustrating sometimes. You know, I obviously love my female heroes and action stars, but sometimes it's just a bad fit, and I think this is a bad fit. You know, we'll see though. That's what I said. Ultimately, the trailer does look pretty cool, so we'll see. You know, but anyway.
Yeah. So, and I failed to mention it, but the all these McFarlane figures I've shown so far, the $25 retail. Now we'll move on to something more pricey. This is cool. Pretty kind of unique as far as Lego goes. This is the Batman the Animated Series, Gotham City. I don't know what you call it. A display, a play set.
Yeah, the Shield. We're still figuring out Goggins, Pat. The Shield, Vice Principals, and Invincible. Thank you, Karen. I said Vice. It's Vice Principals and Tomb Raider. You didn't even name that one. He's definitely in Tomb Raider. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. Was that like something to put on the wall, Pat?
Looks like you could mount it on the wall. You know, do yourself a favor. Track down the video. It's kind of cool. It's kind of unique because a lot of the buildings can come up. You know, you can see it's mainly, you know, it's kind of sort of a flat display, but it's not flat. Obviously, it has things that pop out, and a lot of the different buildings can open up. Not like you would assume a Lego building would open up.
Okay.
Excuse me, but like a panel could open up. And
I wonder if that's gonna be like a new trend for Legos. You know that they're always trying to reach out to like new things. That seems like it'd be pretty cool. That could hit. That is cool.
Yeah. And there you see the 4 figures it comes with, and some gargoyles.
I love, man, those gargoyles look so stupid. What the heck? I don't think I've seen a dumber gargoyle.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, definitely space friendly. There you see it on a table. It's large, but it definitely looks like you could mount it on a wall. I just thought it was cool, and like I said, track the video down. It's very interesting.
Okay.
And different. Oh, thank you.
That is very cool.
Well, I forgot to mention, is it $300 cool?
Oh, geez. No, it's not $300 cool.
Well, it's Lego, Lego. And
I know, man. It's so large, expensive. Yeah.
It is expensive. Yeah.
Man, people that have like
sort of.
Sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say the people that have roomfuls of Legos, that's all I can see is dollar signs everywhere. It's like so crazy. I've got like, I think maybe 7 now. And yeah, there's every time I look at them, I think all the ones I have were gifts because they're just so expensive to me. I'll never pull the trigger in the actual store for myself, Anyway.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Okay, next. I don't know if it was probably about 6 months ago, we were sort of surprised. At least I was surprised to find out Disney was dipping their toe in physical media, and they were releasing steelbooks of some of their some of their Marvel and Star Wars properties. We got Loki, we got Mandalorian season 1 and 2, and what was the 4th one? Yeah, WandaVision. Thank you. My assistant Valor here is keeping me on track. So this week they announced round 2. So we have Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Okay.
We have Moon Knight. if you're tracking right along here, these are both titled Complete First Season. But then we get to the Star Wars side of things, and we have the complete series of Obi-Wan Kenobi, sort of indicating that that's it. We're one and done with Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Well, I guess that kind of makes sense. I don't know.
And finally, to round out the 4 offerings, we have Andor Season 1.
That's awesome. Those are all awesome, man. Steelbook collections are great. Didn't you mention the in one of your posts that the people that are making the empty steelbooks, they canceled one because it had no backing or something in a post?
Yeah, Mike has me looking out for a potential Godzilla -1 steelbook. And the last week or two, a company did the old we're going to try to sell you an empty steelbook, no movie inside. And
okay.
Godzilla -1, and they had it up for pre-order. But you would have thought they had all their ducks in a row. But apparently they didn't clear it with Toho because they shut it down. Made them cancel everything, and they're not allowed to do it. So I'm not sure what exactly was going on there.
Oh, okay. These are awesome, though. I could definitely see myself buying these too, and all the Mandos, and even that Obi-Wan, even though I wasn't a big Obi-Wan fan, and Boba Fett, even though I'm not a big Boba Fett, didn't like that show, But anyway, they're awesome.
I think these go up for pre-order on the 12th. They hit shelves April 30th.
Where?
So, everywhere.
Everywhere
that still sells physical media. No exclusives here.
Gotcha. Okay.
Well, I say everywhere, but this is sort of the bummer from my side, because I got an incredible deal on that first wave because I'm a member of the Disney Movie Club. So I got super, super good deals on those first 4. But 2 weeks ago, they announced that Disney Movie Club is shutting down. So Disney is no longer going to produce their own physical media. This is sort of what I'm not sure what's going on here. If this is like the last Disney physical media release, what they're going to do is they're having Sony produce and distribute all of their physical media going forward. So they didn't make it very clear if this is going to be. I assume it's going to be under Disney, not Sony, releasing them. But I think there's a lot of people in my boat. We're like hoping that they sneak these into the Disney Movie Club before it shuts down. But I'm not holding my breath.
Right. They got to focus on that Disney Plus content.
Yeah.
Well, they got to focus on putting out the content. So then just let somebody put this stuff out aftermarket. Yeah. Or whatever.
Yeah. We'll stick with Star Wars, and we'll go. By the way, we don't have a price point for those yet either. I think the pricing will be announced when they go up for pre-order on the 12th. So
okay,
sorry about that. But regardless, you could probably buy all 4 of those for the price of the next 2 items, because we're moving on to Hot Toys territory, and we have Balin's Skull from the Ahsoka series. Now everybody knows by now. These are highly, highly detailed 12-inch articulated figures.
Awesome.
And they usually really, really nail the likenesses. There's one thing, and sort of a question for you, Kevin. I don't know if you know this, but this is the first time I really got to take a close look at Balin, and I'm really curious about his belt buckle. I don't know if there's any knowledge out there. If people have, it's kind of hard to. I apologize. It's kind of hard to see there.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Green insignia. He's kind of got the same thing on one of his gauntlets too. So I'm kind of curious, to get some lore behind that and see what exactly that means.
Well, they put in those Easter eggs, and then we find out about it in the future in a past show or something. You know how it goes.
Right. There he is with his robe on. And there's everything he comes with,
He looks epic.
Very good. Typical to the Hot Toys, I think it stated here, the separate rolling eyeballs and the LED lightsabers and everything. So Balin clocks in at $285.
Yes, oh man.
And yeah, you can't have Balin, or you could have Balin if you only have a limited budget, without getting Shinhati. I don't know if we ever got a clear pronunciation on her.
I don't think so.
But of course, they put her up for order at the same time. She's a little cheaper. She's $280. She's $5 cheaper. So we'll run through her different shots here. Again, the two different headshots.
Those are ridiculous. Jeez.
They are. There she is with her cape, robe. And there's everything she comes with. Looks like she gets like a little probe droid to go with her.
That's cool.
And there they are together, side by side.
Oh man, that would be a great $560 to spend.
Yeah, they Hot Toys always delivers the goods. I mean, they miss 10% of the time, but usually their likenesses are so good, and the prices are so high. But yeah, that's it. I wanted to keep it kind of short again this week because I knew we had a lot to do, but that's it for the Horizon this week.
All right, awesome. There we go. I wasn't delaying on purpose there, waiting for the audience, but I keep forgetting when you shift back and forth that I'm like, wondering, like, where's my stuff? It's only been 3 or 4 weeks since you mentioned that. Give another 4 or 5 weeks, and I'll adjust. Karen, why are you putting up Kyler Crystal on there?
Yeah, so Karen, the lightsabers use a Kyber crystal.
Kyber,
but this could be something different. Yeah, and I wouldn't, if it could possibly be one, but it seems weird that they would wear it on his belt unless it's like a trophy.
Oh shit. Okay, so I'm finally tracking. So Karen was guessing Kyber crystal is what's on his belt buckle. Gotcha.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Karen, that's probably not a very good guess. Sorry about it. That's the Kyber crystals are what you put in the lightsaber to make them. Yeah. Okay. Karen's in the background. As Karen's producing, she obviously does a great job. But then we can also see her on our screen in the background. And it's another part of an entertaining process we got going on here that, of course, the audience can't appreciate. So we should stop talking about it anyway.
Well, that's interesting. If that's what they're going with, they're saying that's his original Kyber crystal from when he was a Jedi, and he keeps it on his belt buckle. That's
that'd be cool. Yeah. Well, obviously the Star Wars universe is amazing. I'm a big lover of it. I know you are, Pat. And when they just give us these new characters, now we got all new stories from the past. They could possibly in the future, depending on how popular these characters and how much the fans want it, to deliver to us in the future, of course. And then, of course, they'll drop some extra things, like when we saw him, looking at the Godfather statue or whatever the father name was, statues in Ahsoka, that gives us these branch off. I mean, that's why Star Wars is so great, and that's why they shouldn't mess with doing anything stupid, because there's a lot of great content, and they just have to care about what the fans want to give it to us. So.
Yeah, it's very disappointing because that Ray Stevenson passed away, because it's very intriguing what they could have done with that character.
Yeah,
because you didn't get a whole lot, but it was enough to make you really wonder what was going on with him.
Interested and want more. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, cool. let's get this wrapped up. All right, hopefully Karen's got a couple for us today too. What do you got, Pat?
I was worried about catching up on Dune 1 to get ready for Dune 2, but now I have to catch up on Dune 1 and 2 to get ready for 3.
Yeah. And in my personal opinion, Adam Sandler hits the mark for me 98% of the time. But when it comes to Spaceman, it missed the mark. So sorry about it, Adam. I'm still in though. I'm still in. You get one miss every 10 movies. I'll never leave. Keep pumping them out for me as far as I'm concerned. So Karen, you got one?
Don't forget to stay tuned for the sequel to that though.
Yeah. Karen says manga is going after Kevin. Yeah, it seems. Although Karen, there's like 25 pages of manga in the previous previews, and that was one panel, so I'm not exactly sure. But they are sucking me in. We'll see. We'll see where that goes. All right, what you got?
As always, Hot Toys is going after your wallet, and so is Lego apparently too. Dude.
I'm going to add on to that. Family passing us notes during the show is fun. How about that? And that happened to me earlier today too. But no, check out Dracula. He was highlighted a few times on today's show. So that shows how awesome the latest Dracula series is. Karen? Nice. Karen says, no one is safe from having to fight Godzilla. Facts. See previous previews. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers today. Yep.
I feel like I will soon be safe from reading Ryan North comic books.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it's on your boy's title or your. Would you say what? Okay, the people want to know what is number 1 and number 2. You got to put them in order right now. Hellboy, Fantastic Four.
Fantastic Four is sort of childhood and growing up, but then Hellboy is more like my adult number 1. Yeah.
Okay. So it's not completely heartbreaking. You'll just go back to the old Fantastic Four.
Right.
I had a cool lot on What Night last night where I put together the lot. Remember how I told you I found the original Fantastic Four that had the new Fantastic Four first appearance in it? I put it together with a lot of the new Fantastic Four series that just came out.
Yeah.
In one lot together. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
No one wanted it though. No one wanted it. And I love when I do that on a Whatnot show. I put it up and I'm all proud. It seems like sick. Like if I were watching this show, I'd be like, I'm on that. No one. Nothing.
You never know.
You never know. You never know. True stories about video game players that parents were on their butt about playing video games too much are really cool. See Gran Turismo on Netflix. Karen, you got anything else? Pat, what you got?
Nah, I think I'm done too.
Yeah, I think I'm done too. All right. Great show, though. Great show.
Yeah.
All right, Karen, let's see if we can do this. All right, please like, subscribe, and hit that bell to get notified of everything we post. Also, comment your thoughts, questions, and suggestions below. We'd love to read all that. Subscribe to Comics and Collectibles in the Crawl Space on Spotify for podcasters or many other podcast providers, and listen to the edited podcast of this live stream on Spotify. That will be posted no later than Tuesday. I've said it once. I'm going to say it again. How's that saying? Actually, I've said it a million times. I'm going to say it again, maybe. I listened to last week's show twice this week as a podcast. It's just a different show. It was so fun. Michael was so fun on that show. He's a great addition to the show when he's able to stop by and talk about Pokemon.
Yeah.
Check out last week's podcast for that to experience for yourself. Anyway, follow Xcellar Comics on Facebook, Instagram, and/or X, aka Twitter, and follow Xcellar_comics on TikTok and whatnot. And then watch our shows on the Whatnot app. Trust me, watch them all. You can bookmark. Actually, 2 of our shows are listed right now. I've got the toy show next Thursday and the comic book show next Friday. You can bookmark those right now to get notified when all of the ridiculous deals will be offered. And I mean it. They're ridiculous deals. And then check out what we have to offer on eBay at Xcellar_comics and in our shop at xcellarcomics.com or on our xcellarcomics.com website. You can find the shop tab at the top of the homepage. And then you can help support the show and everything we do and plan to do through Patreon at patreon.com/XcellarComics. We would really appreciate that. And then watch Cover Combat 8, Round 2, Xcellar Family Edition, this coming Monday, the 11th, March 11th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It was redonkulous. Can't wait for everybody to see it. And then watch our next live stream on YouTube or Facebook next Saturday, March 16th at 9:30 a.m.-ish Eastern Standard Time. Then lastly, keep up with everything Xcellar has planned that I just said and in the future with the newly added Karen's Calendar, double K, feature that is located at the top of our homepage, also at xcellarcomics.com. We got a lot of good content on xcellarcomics.com too. You know, I like scrolling through there as well. But anyway, I may be slightly biased, but who knows, you know. All right. That'll do it then, Pat. Do you have anything else in closing?
I do not.
Karen, do you have anything else? All right, that'll do it for us this week. Thanks for checking us out. And until next time, do not forget, appreciating great art is awesome. And reading a great story is fun. So why not pick up a comic book and do both?